Ladies and gentlemen,
They say the next big thing is here.
The Steve Warneke Show.
Hi, my name is Steve Warneke. I'm a retired Denver police sergeant. I'm author of From Boy to Blue. Now, you've seen some of our articles and podcasts and videos, but tonight I wanted to introduce you to me and my team. The first person you're going to meet is the man with whom I live and share my life with. His name is Michael Chung. And I mean, after everything I've been through, it's amazing that I was able to cross paths with this guy. I mean, it can't be easy to live with me, right?
It's an adventure every day. I feel it's very easy being in a relationship with him. He makes me feel like I don't have to prove myself to him, and I can just be myself, and he just loves me for who I am. So
he's a very important part of my support system, and I'm very lucky to have him in my life. I also wanted you to meet my right-hand lady.
My name is Kelly Ann Arnold. I'm the marketing manager for Stephen Warneke Productions.
I wouldn't have accomplished anywhere close to what we have thus far if it weren't for her. She pushed me to follow that voice inside of me and to say what I had to say to the world.
Steve is concerned about the way things are for cops, and I watched him go from being a realtor to getting back into the cop life by publishing his book and doing all these articles and podcasts. And he's concerned about the way things are, and he's also confident that he can fix it, that he can help.
he's very focused and dedicated to his work. He's extremely hardworking. It's when he's set on something, he's dead set on it, and he gets it done.
I'm not getting paid for these podcasts. I'm not getting paid for these articles. This is just stuff that I have to say. It's important. The job of police officer is the most important job in the country. And I say that sincerely because if all the police walked off the job right now, it wouldn't be long before there's anarchy and chaos in the streets, and I'm not even sure we'd be safe in the confines of our own home. I think because of all of the things that I saw over the years and all the things that I had to bear witness to, I needed a little break. My plan was to leave law enforcement. I was going to be a real estate agent. I was going to try something totally different in Florida. I needed a break. I felt like I was angry. I felt like people did not understand this job. We weren't allowed to stick up for ourselves. Nobody was sticking up for us. We weren't allowed to come out after an incident and say, this is why we did what we did, and this is the facts we had, and this was the rationale for why we acted the way we did. And morale was, plummeting quickly amongst the police officers, and I just said, I gotta get out. I don't want to be angry. I don't want to be angry anymore. I'm gonna try something different. When my father got sick in January of 2014, he spent about 9 months in ICU, suffering from COPD, and it was a tough thing to watch. So after my father passed away, I went through this really difficult time where I wasn't sure, am I going to be able to give up this job where I get good time off and good benefits and good pay and I enjoy doing what I'm doing? Or am I going to, in order to pursue a dream, or am I going to stay here? The scariest day of my life was my last day at the police department. I walked in my house after leaving my office for the last time, and the door closed behind me, and I remember I had my first ever panic attack. And I thought, what have I done? What have I done? All of a sudden, this energy began rising up inside of me, and I knew I've got to come back to this police work, and I don't have to be wearing a badge, and I don't have to be out pulling people over, but I've got some things to say after 15 years on the street.
I mean, overall, I think he's extremely brave for what he's doing to put his emotions and his feelings out there for everyone to see. It's something that I feel like I don't know, it's something I strive to be. It's amazing what he's been putting out there.
He's not afraid to point out the truth and to tell it like it is and to call people out.
I am being very honest and very fair, and when the police screw up, I'm going to be there saying that also. I challenge people to question their conclusions. How did you arrive at this conclusion? We're talking about major topics in this country. We're talking about racism in police officers. A police officer using force against an African American male automatically mean there was a racist motivation by the police officer? Are there any instances where a police officer, especially a white one, could use force against an African American and you wouldn't come to the same conclusion? Because if that's the only criteria, the race of the police officer and the race of the person who had force used against them, I'm not sure that's a fair criteria. It's not true. There is no place on earth that's more diverse that I've ever worked than a police department. The black, white, Hispanic, Asian, Indian, I mean, there's women, men, gay people, there's people of all different kinds of religions. How are we drawing conclusions about a group of people that is as diverse as our society?
Nobody in my family is in law enforcement, so this is the first time I've been exposed to something like that, and he's given me a different perspective of that side.
I've gotten so much insight to procedures and policies and why cops would act the way they do and what they have to deal with every day.
Or every time I write an article or a podcast, I leave it and I think, oh, that felt good. I've been wanting to say that for a long time.
I can see more and more people are visiting, more and more people are listening, more and more people are interested, and they care about his perspective.
You know, after seeing all the news, and I think things have been blown up. I didn't think it was this bad.
I want to get to the bottom of why it is this community feels afraid of the police. But in the meantime, you'll see articles and podcasts that dissect these cases, that break them down, that show you a totality of the circumstances, that talk about what the policies are and what the officers and suspects were facing and what was said. And you don't get that kind of in-depth coverage at the news with the news media, because they've got a few seconds to tell you a story. And I've got more time than that. And I'm going to use the time because these cases are intricate, they're complex, and you need to know more before you make a decision. But I implore you and I challenge everybody to find out more. And I give you opportunities to do that. Government is very transparent, and I tell you how and where you can do that.
I see how a lot of people can have these strong feelings against the law enforcement, and I just think that, you know, you should have a more open mind about things.
From Boy to Blue, the book, I think it's a tremendous book that not only tells you a lot about me as a person and all of my idiosyncrasies and a few of my stories, but it is, it's a way that you come behind the badge, and how do you convey 15 years worth of law enforcement experience to somebody in a book? I mean, it's a tough challenge, but I think I did it.
More and more people are interested in hearing what he has to say. And I think it's starting to slowly open a dialogue between people about what's going on. And he's a voice for police officers, and I really hope that he's able to make them safer and people safer.